One more.
Please. Let's have one more at least.
One more. Shrimataji said one
Please.
more was the last time. Yeah?
No, I didn't say last time, you said.
Good evening, everyone. That was such nice music. And this was at the Sahasrara Nivi Kalpa talk just before the evening before Nivi Kalpa talk. That was the program. Beautiful. I mean, certainly felt joyous with that one. So tonight's program, let's see, I wanted to open up with a fun fact. Well, you know, whether it's fun because what's going on in the world today, I don't know. But anyway, but basically, just for, you know, just put things together, you know, for example, when Shmataji speaks about things or says things and then they relay in the world, and sometimes it's picking up these pieces, what Shmataji said, and basically what I'm talking about as we, you know, I just thought it was funny at times, but then when I read a little bit on it, I thought, well, this is definitely the times. Anyway, basically, it's about Pluto. I know, be patient. So, but basically, Pluto came into being, was recognized at the time of Mother's birth. You know, Mother was born and then slowly got discovered and slowly it got its name, which the name, and Shmataji spoke about this planet and she said it was her planet. It was to do with the Sahasrara. And then I thought, what is this? You know, what does it mean? And of course, there's the god of war. But what was quite interesting was this bit here. It represents the journey into the dark depths of our mind and soul, as well as our rebirth into the new life. And I thought, oh, wow, it's definitely happening these days, where it's definitely traveling in the dark spaces. But anyway, it's Pluto was born around that time, and also, as you may know, you know, around about the time when this thing here, this round ball, got its name, Shmataji wrote this poem. To be a dust particle, I want to be like a dust particle which moves with the wind. It goes everywhere. Can go sit on the head of a king, or can go fall at the feet of someone. And it can go and sit on the little flower, and it can go and sit everywhere. But I want to be that particle of dust that is fragrant, that is nurturing or nourishing, that is enlightening. Now, so that's when Shmataji was at the age of 7. So if you imagine, this was discovered in 27, and I think it was named near the end of that. So around about that time when Shmataji was about 7, this planet got its name. Now, the funny thing is that, of course, this planet, you know, got demoted, you know, some years ago in 2000 and something, you know, it got demoted into a dust particle, you know, in a Kuiper belt. But when I heard, you know, that Pluto got demoted into a dust particle, I couldn't help but laugh in a sense, because I remembered this thing, this here, you know, the poem that Mother wrote. And of course, the planet that Shmataji says it represents her or her time or Sahasrara. And so, you know, it just made me giggle. And, you know, and it referenced, and then of course, these imageries came about, well, probably 20 years after he got demoted. And of course, now they know much more about it. And of course, there's your heart, which represents, as you know, the Sahasrara. The top of your head is the heart. So that's the fun fact. Take it or leave it. So, but anyway, I just thought it was quite amazing how the divine play unfolds in all different dimensions, and of course science or astronomy or whatever, you know, have no idea of this incarnation that's gave revelation or kind of a clear understanding of this ball millions and millions of years away. Anyway, I'll be quiet now on that front. So on today's program, I'm going to keep the theme of Sahasrara because obviously Pluto does represent that. And yeah, and do we need, God, you know, the amount of stuff that's coming out these days in the world, you know, you can really see that, you know, everybody's going to that dark depths of their soul, and all this stuff's coming out. And we hope that the other part, which is that enlightenment stage, you know, comes quicker within that their understanding. All right, just hold yourself there for a second. If you haven't namaskared, or if you have, you can put your hands together and you bow to Shri. And within yourself, you ask her to be present and awakened within you. And also open up all the different channels, nadis, so that we can grasp and understand everything she says. Because I'm going to play a public program. But the funny thing is, you know, and as you hear it, it's actually far deeper than just a public program. It really talks to us as Sahaja still today, you know. And parts of it, you know, it's all about us and change and becoming, and really becoming. So we'll play that talk, and of course we want to be in a state of silence, faultless, in order to grasp everything. And but not only grasp, but imbibe. That's the word Shrimataji used once. But has he imbibed, she said to me. And I was confused because at that point I didn't know what that meant. I got the dictionary out. Oh, okay. I didn't realize yogis never imbibed, you know. But anyway, so we're going to start with invoking Lord Ganesh, and also the Mother Kundalini. Now, you know, I always forget these things, but I'm more than sure that everybody's raised their Kundalini, put themselves in Bandhan. But let's all do it now together. Raise your Kundalini. So if you can put your hands on the floor. Just touch the Mother Earth and just ask if she could pull any obstacles or any blockages and take it within herself and thank her for that. So we need to worship Lord Ganesh. Primary is so through invoking him, you are allowed to go to his mother. So please him and the door opens. So we're going to say the Sri Ganesha mantra 3 times. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And then invoke Kundalini, Shri Kundalini Gauri Mata. 1 time. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Kundalini Gauri Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Okay, just hold there for a moment. So the music was already really nice here. Cleanse the Sahasrara. You just hold yourself in that Nivikalpa. Nirachara state. But don't forget, if your mind is too busy, then look at Shmataji. Just look at Shmataji's bindi and just relax, let go. And when you feel relaxed, just close your eyes. You can also take a deep breath if you feel a little tense. Just let everything out, all your tension, your thoughts, problems, all that myth. So this is Caxton Hall in the old days, where Mother herself would get up, offer the program. So before we go to the talk, this is great chance. This is public program, but like I said, it's far deeper than that, I would say. Right, before we go to the program, we're going to just say the mantra for the last mantra, the third mantra of the Sastrara. Om Twami Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Mokshara Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. So just relax and we'll play that talk. It's only 30 minutes or something long, and then we'll continue with the Sahasrara with a few mantras.
That there is a possibility, a very big possibility of a great change in the atmosphere through the transmutation of human beings. It's a big possibility. And this possibility has been very well now described by some people who are busy with finding out about horoscopes and things. I was amazed the other day that the star Pluto that has now appeared on the scene, they're describing the qualities of this star Pluto. And they say that a transmutation should take place with this star. And a new change must come all over the world. It's such a beautiful description that you'll be amazed that it's something absolutely Sahaja. It's surprising that it says that you are in a caterpillar stage. And the caterpillar has to become the butterfly. That's very true. Human beings are like a cocoon. They're specially made like that. Because when you use your ego, you create your ego by using your action power, and when you create your superego using your psyche, then a shell is created. These both of them grow in your head here and form a shell-like strong cocoon. And this cocoon gives you chance to grow within the cocoon itself by understanding what is right and what is wrong. Now, as we are either conditioned by our psyche or we are very ego-oriented, we start deciding about right and wrong through our idea of either the superego or the ego or the conditioning or the ego. Now we like something. For example, you like the decor of this house. Somebody might say it is very fussy, maybe. Somebody might say it is too sober. Somebody who likes, say, oak might say, oh, this is pine, I don't like pine. Like that, the opinion about anything can vary to any extent, depending on your likes, dislikes. Basically, we are made of three types of people, but they intermingle. And when they intermingle too much, then you get lots of permutations and combinations. And as you go on getting complex and complex, all these your judgments are influenced by that complex temperament that you have developed within yourself. We have got people one-sided, we call them the left-sided. These are the people who are very emotional type. They live with their past. My father, my mother, my grandfather, we did this, it happened like this, see. Then the right-sided are people who say, we are going to do this. We have to do this tomorrow. We have to do this. Go there. You must aggress these people. You must answer them. You must get rid of them. These are the second type of people which we can call the people of action, the right-handed people. In Sanskrit they are called, the first ones are called as tamogunis, the ones who go into the past, tamoguna. The right-sided are called as the rajogunas, those who go into future. Our mind lives either into the past or into the future. And for a split of a second, we are in the present. This present, the people who live in the present, try to live in the present, are called as Sattvagunis. The ones who are wise, who balance, who have a central path, who do not go to extremes normally. They may try here and there, but they keep to the central path of life. Not too much into anything. Say there is a quarrel. They'll go to a point, all right, give up, finished. If they have to help somebody, they'll go to a point and then, all right, it's too much. They do not go to extremes. Supposing they are taking alcohols, they won't go on drinking the complete drum. If they are going to the races, they won't spend all their money and become bankrupts by going to races. See, all such habits which take you to extremes to the left-hand side, the habits are on the left-hand side. The right-hand sided people have more sort of aptitude for getting into power. For example, they might get elected first to local government, so they won't be satisfied. They would like to be elected to something like a, you can say, provincial government, then to the state government, and I don't know how far they go, but I mean they would like to become the highest of highest, whatever is possible, and they're never satisfied. Now these three gunas exist within us, and we go on playing with it. Actually, they make us their slaves all the time. Like I met a very big minister, we had gone to his ship, and he had invited us. He was the host. It's a very innocent thing, but I was really amazed how people can become addicted. And we had invited us for lunch. And somehow, because going to the ship, we got a little late there, all of us, he also. And then we had lunch. And about 2:30 or so, he started becoming fidgety and funny. I said, what's the matter with him? He would not sit down. He was moving here and there. I thought might be he's taking some drugs or something is wrong with him. So he came to tell me, Mrs. Srivastava, I'm rather sick. I said, what's the matter? What is the problem? He said, I'm very sick. Still I couldn't understand because he looked quite normal. There was nothing in the vibrations I could detect that there was something wrong with him. He said, today the football match is starting and I must see that on the TV. Poor man, he didn't know how to say that he was a minister who was the host and invited all the big people there. And suddenly that child, wanted to see the football match and he did not. Then I said, I'll break the ice. I said, no, I want to see the football match on the TV. So he took us to the TV room where they had on the ship a TV room. You see, but he didn't know how to break the ice, how to say that. And he saw and he was watching it like a little child, I felt, absolutely lost. It was very innocent, but that shows that there are certain lurking things of childhood which you have missed perhaps, or maybe which has influenced you too much, and still you go on doing it in such an innocent way that your childhood still existing, you enjoy that. And some people who are children also talk like big people. I've seen that, I've decided to do this. The other day we had a little boy of about 4 years or so. And he said, my house is absolutely boring. And he was talking like a big man, and I was amazed at him. When I will become big, I'll build a big house like Buckingham Palace, and I'm going to live in that house. I was amazed at his ambitious temperament and the way he was worried about material advancement at that small little age of 4 years. Just all these things, work out mostly when our personality is somehow or other gets impressed by others' personality. But the middle course people have their own personality and they live with it and they are quite happy people. I'm saying these are absolute 3 types. Actually nobody is like that. They are all permutations and combinations, as I said. But the middle type people are not very ambitious. They can never be very successful people. They can never be very, very, very rich. type of people, they cannot. But they are satisfied people, happy people, congenial and sweet. Everyone likes to be in their company. They are very magnetic. This type of people have the blessings, I think, of seeking also. Because they are satisfied otherwise with other things. They get over it somehow. They find out that this is something that I have been seeking too much into, say, money, into drugs, into this habit, into that habit, into power. And they find out that it's no use and they come to the center. Many people who go to extremes in life also somehow come to the center because they ultimately discover that it's not enjoyment. It's not happiness. It's something funny. You see, some people have a habit of, say, collecting things. They go on collecting, they become mad with it. Absolutely mad, you see. I mean, you can make out a collector very easily. He has a special type of a face, like that he's looking out. And very worried, because he's so worried about his possessions, whether he has insured them or not, and this has happened or not. It has to be fire insured, and I mean, sort of a very worried man, despite all the possessions he has. But a person can be just a collector for fun's sake. He's a center. He's the man with the center. Just for fun's sake. You see, anything to be done just for fun's sake, just for seeing it. Nothing so serious about it, nothing so engrossing and throttling. Some people are really throttled, absolutely they feel they're choked up with it. And anything goes wrong, you see, they become absolutely white in the face and the whole thing becomes like a shock to them. Now, as a person starts maturing through ages, he sees that both these extremes are no good. Like I've seen people who are so particular, say, about certain things. Like we can say the people who are right-sided people, ego-oriented. They are so particular how the room should be, how the color should be, how the curtain should be, how the carpet should be, and the whole thing is such a big muddle, I tell you. But I once asked, why all this? Why do you do it? What is the gain? So the gentleman says, because it relaxes you. And I'm very relaxed. I said, the things that relax you are making you really very, very tense. You are not at all relaxed. On the contrary, you are so tense that this color is going out, or there's no carpet, or there's no curtain, or there's this thing. I mean, if you are relaxed, nothing will make you important. Nothing is important. And for that, you are so tensed up and so sometimes ugly. Because I have seen people can be very harsh on all these things. I remember a lady had a carpet and a little child came and spilled something. I mean, all these carpets, of course, can be cleaned, luckily. But the owner of the carpet was so furious. She first hit the child and said all kinds of things to the mother. And it was so painful. Only tears started rolling my eyes. Now this lady, the one whose child has spilled, is a rich family woman. She has no problem. And she said, I'll pay for your carpet, now don't you worry, But she was so furious. And then, of course, one day later, she realized that she was very wrong. And she said, I'm sorry, I apologize, But I just let her. Why? Because she had given undue values to things which are useless. And she built it up within herself, this kind of a value system, which upset her. Suddenly she saw something so useless and frivolous happening there. And the whole inside came out like a very ugly personality. Otherwise she was very well dressed and very elegant, and everything fell off to pieces. And the ugliness inside came out. If you get attached to matter, you become that ugliness within yourself. Matter is one of the most horrible things one should get attached to. Absolutely the thing that you should never worry about. It always tries to dominate your spirit. Always tries to dominate your spirit. You become extremely ugly with your attachments to matter. The spirit is fighting the matter all the time. First of all, the matter gives you habits. Say you are used to a chair, you cannot sit on the ground. It dominates you all the time, and so secretly it crawls upon you that you do not know how it works out. I myself had one habit which I seldom take to habits really. It's difficult for me. I'd have to remember that I better take this habit. And every day I do everything differently. I have no routine. I cannot have a routine. Find it impossible to train myself to have a routine, because sometimes the routine can save time, I think. But I don't know. I somehow or other cannot take to routines also. But I had one habit. I discovered it, that I must sleep with my hand under my pillow. Imagine. And one day I hurt myself. They couldn't put my hand there. I said, I can't sleep, otherwise I can sleep like a log of wood. I said, what's the matter with me? And I then realized that my hand was all the time going there, and whenever it went, it was feeling hurt, so it was coming. I said, look at that. I was amazed. Of course, next day I broke the habit. It's very simple. But one should see oneself, how you form habits. This is the habits that comes to you from previous life, or maybe the previous past that you have been living with. That's one thing, that habit. Another habit can come from ego. Not habit, but an ambition. Like a person who has lived with lot of riches and all that. He's not bothered as to what sort of place you are living in. He's not really bothered if he's really lived in the best places. And if he has not formed the habit, that's one point. If he has not formed the habit, I know of some people who are extremely rich and they can live as they like. Really they have been rich people, really. The richness has gone into them, I should say. That they are like kings, they are not bothered, nothing can dominate them. I know of someone who is he's also a Sahajogi. He is the judge of the Hague High Court, and he's the chairman of that. And he's such a simple man that, you see, he'll wear his shoes and wipe it with the curtain somewhere and jump into his horrible bed, and he's a very, 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 very rich man, into a bed which is like this. He's not bothered. And he's very handsome. So whatever he wears suits him all right. There's no problem. And he's least bothered as to what he wears and how he goes about. And somehow he's very well groomed. I don't know how. He's very well groomed. He appears to be very well groomed, despite the fact he doesn't pay much attention to this thing. Now, if he goes to somebody's house, he will never see what kind of a towel is there or what kind of a thing. His wife may notice, but he will never. He does not know. And he does not know which house we went to, what sort of things there were, whether the chair is comfortable or uncomfortable. He's just not bothered about these things, see? And he's a man who is so rich. He has palaces in India, palaces. But if you make him sit here, he'll just come and sit down, least bothered. He'll never feel that his dignity has been put down or he has been put to any trouble. Because the richness of the matter, the feeling of enrichment, the aesthetics, and the subtler feeling that you have mastered the matter, if it crawls into you, you become really the master of matter. It doesn't matter where you sleep, where you live. You may live in the greatest luxury, or if you have to live, you will live on the street. But you will not be bothered. You are the master of the whole thing. And nobody will know that this man is such a rich fellow, or is in any way in this thing. I have seen one Englishman like that. Most surprising. I met him once, just by chance. We were going to my house, which was in Oxted. And trains failed or something happened, so they asked us to go by bus. And then that bus also went off, you see. So we had to get down, we were waiting for another bus to come. So this fellow very nicely went and sat on a big stone. And he said, would like to sit down? I pointed to another. I also, like a lord, I went and sat on another stone. All others were looking this side, that side. They wouldn't sit down, and they were feeling very funny about the whole thing, cursing. And we just started talking. You see. It was very sweet and very nice. And Oh, he said, I enjoyed India very much. And he told me the places he went to, where no Englishman would dare to go. I must tell you, the places he visited, I was surprised how he managed to go there. And I said, how did you do it? Because you have to walk quite a lot and you have to go by a bullock cart. He said, oh, I really enjoy it. It doesn't matter to me. Bullocks are very kind to me. They drive me very slowly. And a bullock cart, if you go for even 2 hours in that, every bone you will know is falling out. It's a horrible journey on a bullock cart on an Indian so-called road, which is no road. It's all stones here and the big ditches and stones and all that in the villages. But he went to such villages, I was amazed. And then while talking to him, I said, how you were there? He said, I was there for something, this, that. And he wouldn't tell me how he was there. And then we got into the bus. I got down in my place and he went away. And this and that. And then in a party I saw him, they said he was one of the viceroys in India. I was amazed. He was one of the viceroys of India. I mean, that, the richness, see, wherever he was a lord or whatever he was, all had gone into his blood, He didn't need anything anymore. It's oversatisfied. If that can happen to you, you have mastered the matter. This was the idea to begin with. I mean, that was the idea of God, to give you all material wealth. That you will be satisfied with it and you will be over it. But you got lost, I think. If 1 penny is increased in the loaf price, everybody goes upside down. This is not the sense of affluence. I was amazed at that gentleman who was, if you go and see in India the Viceroy Lodge, you will be surprised. You don't have any building of that quality here. He lived in that luxury where we have sandalwood sofa sets. Sandalwood sofa sets. From there, just to come and sit on any stone or any place like that, and in such a simple way to live. Imagine, he has been really a viceroy. He has not been there just a human being. He became really a viceroy of India, no doubt about it. The way he mastered it. If you are a king, you have to behave like a king of the whole world. Otherwise, what's the use of this kingship when you are worried of 1 penny? And this is what one has to learn from matter. But after realization, the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. But I don't know why, maybe this is the problem of the ego or whatever it is. The cocoon still sticks on and a person still wriggles out. I don't know why. That they are not conscious, they have become the butterfly now. And they still stick on to their cocoon habits and behave in the same way. For example, I cannot think of any Sahajogi misbehaving with another Sahajogi who is a saint. Both are being saints. For material things. Absolutely impossible. I just can't think of it. But these saints can do that because they are still having that cocoon around them. And they behave like that. Sometimes I'm amazed. It's disgraceful. Even otherwise a gracious man would not say anything for material. It looks bad, isn't it? To say something. I don't know how. But in the etiquettes also, to remark about something that is material. It's nice to praise, it's beautiful and it's nice. But to say, oh, you should have had something here, a carpet or something, is disgraceful. As it is, I think, I don't know about human cultures, but should be minimum of minimum. That you don't complain if you go to somebody's house and say something disgraceful. We should accept as it is and not to make others look little before you. The richer you are, the higher you are, you have to be humbler and a humbler person. That should be the criteria, I think. Like we have a story that there was a saint sitting and meditating. He was blind in a jungle. And a king came there and asked him with very great politeness and humility, he said, "Oh saint, you are so great. You are not bothered about worldly things. But will you be able to tell me if you have seen any persons going this way, because I am looking out for them?" So he said, "I know you are the king and your minister came down. He asked about you And your servant also came and asked. He said, how did you know? He said, from their language, the way they speak. I can make out the level from the language they use, the way they speak. He said, the servant came and said, hey, you blind fellow, have you seen somebody going this way? He said, I'm blind, how can I see? Did somebody come here? He said, no. Then the second one came, minister. He said, you blind gentleman, not the saint. Why should say blind? If somebody is blind, must you say that you are blind? Is it proper? It hurts. And you do not know when you hurt others, you hurt yourself much more. If you say even one word that hurts others, you hurt yourself 100 times more. Take it from me. It hurts another person to say you are blind. But he said, you blind gentleman. And the third person was the king himself. He very humbly touched his feet and said, O saint, did you see, did you know somebody had come? You see, a person who is really evolved is so gentle. He is like a flower. How the flower falls on the ground, you don't even hear a sound. When it is dying, when it is falling from its mother tree, how gently it comes down and touches the ground. A saint has to be like that. Those who have vulgar tongues and harsh tongues should get out of their cocoons and should understand that by doing this they will go down very much, even if they are realized souls. I agree, you are realized souls, you have got your realization. But you must try to control your tongues. It may be because you have a mental poverty. It's a question of mental poverty. It's no question of coming from a poor family, but it's a mental poverty that you haven't got aesthetics, how to talk to another. That's, you should know that the whole universe is within you, but these are part and parcel of your awareness. These are your own. How can you be harsh to that? And it hurts me when I see these things happening, even after getting realization. I feel, what's the use sometimes? If realization gives them so much, and they cannot give up a little, I feel very much surprised how human beings cannot take to the beauty of realization and settle down there. The second type of people are those who are not blunt, we would say, but are very sophisticated and cunning, and they have sarcastic way of hurting people. Today I have taken up this subject very much because it's very, very common now. It is so common. And some people who lost their vibrations and are not getting proper realization, they are not establishing. One of the main reasons is that they are hurting each other very much, even now. Now these are the people who have developed a tongue which is like a snake. I don't know if snake speaks, but they say that snake has a bad tongue. But I don't know if it speaks at all. Only the human beings speak. And they have evolved methods of ruining themselves completely by saying something so very harsh. I mean, like a venom, it comes out. The whole fun of the world is lost. God has created this beautiful earth and this beautiful universe. He has created you to be the human beings. From amoeba to the stage, and today the time has come to become aware of Him, of His powers, with your spirit showing it. You have to become your spirit now at this juncture. You must first decide that as soon as you become that, you are going to give up your caterpillar state. That has to be decided. So many have been realized in this country and in so many other countries. I wonder how many of them have understood that you are the flowers, and how the flower has to be fragrant. Are you that fragrant towards others? Unless and until such a decision is made. Of course, I must say the grace of God is so great that despite everything, people are getting realization. Imagine the Archbishop of Black Magic, who must have heard thousands of people, is also getting realization. Can you imagine? Tremendous things are happening. I am amazed at it. How these things are working out. The grace is working so quickly. So many people are getting realization. But I don't know really if it is going to give you the wisdom or not that you should mature into the beauty of your realization. You are still the same. Then what's the use of getting realization if you don't want to change? After all, you wanted your realization just because you wanted to change. And it is the change of transmutation. So that some of you has to die. So the beauty comes up. And if that is not achieved, that we have not achieved the goal of self-realization, I feel that for all these years, whatever I have seen is such a tremendous grace flowing. Thousands of people getting realization in Indian villages. It's amazing how things are working out. It's fantastic. I could never believe my own self when I saw all these things happening, but it's happening. Believe me, it's happening. First, we had horrible skeptical people. All right. They were questioning, doubting, this, that. That subsided. But now this a new race of egoistical people is coming up, which has become so subtle that they also don't realize that still that caterpillar is hanging on to them. To grow in Sahaja Yoga, you have to understand the age has come. About this star, when I read, I was surprised that it appeared the time when I was born. Really surprising. And it is a star that gives you this power of transmutation. So, maybe through this star, the grace is working it out that you can achieve your transmutation, your evolution, your breakthrough, and become that beautiful being which can adorn the kingdom of God. May God bless you.
Well, that was amazing. And again, there's so much to imbibe. So much. So we're going to close up with 3 mantras, and I don't mean 3 Maha mantras, 3 individual mantras of just above the Sahasrara. So the first mantra is Shri Ardha Mantra. So Shri Ardha Matra. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Ardha Matra Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Then we're going to Shri Bindu. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Bindu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And then Shri Vilaya. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Vilaya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And now we're going to say Shri Mataji's mantras, which is Om Tameva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha 3 times. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Twami Vasakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha. And just put your hands together, head bowed. And we thank Mother. The nectar that she gave us in that talk. Yeah, try to drop off the cocoon, remove it completely. Yes, Patrick. And again,
Should we have
oops,
a
Caxton Hall. I'm going to put that music on again, wherever it was. Let's see if the evening before Sahasrara Puja, the talk of Nivikalpa.
you are. So great you are, really. Brought back Mozart. It's great. Beautiful. May God bless you. It's clever. May God bless you. Yes, working out. May God bless you. It's beautiful. Really. Played so well. Did so well. I didn't know you played so well. May God bless you. I didn't know. It's very well done. May God bless you. You are great musicians here, eh? May God bless you. Everywhere we find, but it's something different, very great. May God bless you. This is the blessings of Mozart, I think. Yeah, may God bless you. Great. Beautiful. So now.
Shrimati, this is more or less the end of what the Austrians had prepared. If you feel we should have some songs, then perhaps it would be better if we move your seat on the podium.
All right.
What do you think? I'm sorry for this. Could someone...
I'm the only person who should clap now. Now which one? Which one? One of you. That Ami Dizaralo, that
Camilo, can you give more sound? Yes, almost no sound in the mic.
hold the rhythm. You run, see a little bit. So you must hold the rhythm.
Ami bigadalo, tumi bigadalo.
mother enjoy so much. But anyway, thank you for joining. Wish the week goes well, and God bless.